I'll stop with the foreshadowing and get into it. So the next day after we recorded last week was my birthday. I turned 25.
25.
It's lit out here.
Quarter life.
25-year-old. Yep. And to add to the already impending quarter life crisis, I found out.
Welcome, guys, to the episode 30 something of Stout and Lager podcast, your favorite beer podcast where you get to hear weird beers or different beers that we were trying on this week. And today I'm your host, Lager, as always. And joining me, as always, is Stout. Say hi.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, dude. It's been a week. It's been a week.
It has been a week. And what a fucking week it has been, you. Let me tell you. While I open this beer.
Yeah, so we're drinking. So today, I feel like it's like our own wine episode where, like, you know what? We're just going to go on our, I say, natural selves and just try the beers that we've been wanting to try that, like, more fits what we like. You know, like, so, like, not doing IPAs, not doing some weird beers this time around. I'm doing a Landshark Island style lager.
Yep. And
we're trying.
I am sipping on a Fremont Brewing Dark Star Imperial Oatmeal Stout. We are basically drinking what is in our glass that we are moving in.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
We're committing. What was this shit? You eat your people. Cannibalism. There you go. I don't know.
Cannibalism. You eat
counts
what
you're
are.
Drinking it, but
I am what I eat.
Yep.
Usually, people say that for, like, you know, I don't know. I say the P word, but I don't want to say it. But yeah, although I think mine actually is off color because the lager is actually really yellow. I think mine is more like probably an orange one. Now I think about it, but yeah, I'm opening it up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I already opened it and sipped the low key. Oops.
Smell test is weird. Oh my god.
I feel like I just smell metal when I do it in a can, though, unfortunately.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. I can see what's this. It's darker. It's like it feels darker than a Corona. You know? It just, to be fair, it has been sitting here a while, so maybe my second bottle will be better, but it's good. It's supposed to be an island lager, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Drinking, it's supposed to be like light, crisp, like enjoy it as cold as possible for like drinking at a beach or a hot day. So this is really good. This is really refreshing. What are you?
It's interesting. So this one is an Imperial Stout, as I mentioned, which, again, for if you're new here, Imperial means just a stronger beer. So this is a 8% strong dark oatmeal stout. Like I said, a smell test couldn't really smell too much because it's a can. I feel like it just kind of smells like the metal. But the taste.
Do you want like porter?
The what?
Do you want to pour in a glass? Maybe smell it there.
I don't know how many glasses. I'll do that for the next one. But the taste is a little bit forward on the strength of the beer. You could definitely taste that it's 8%, which kind of giving a meh vibe already, but it is good. No. It's not sweet. I feel like oatmeal stouts usually are not really too sweet. It's usually like the chocolate stouts or like the s'more stouts, like the dessert ones that are more sweet. So
what is it about the oatmeal that doesn't make them sweet? I thought oatmeals are supposed to be sweet.
I don't know if the oatmeal does much to the flavor of it. When I was looking it up, it said that the oatmeal adds a silky smoothness and full body to the mouthfeel. So it's not necessarily like sugary, because, like, you know, if you add like chocolate or if you have like, you know, s'more flavoring, I feel like that's more sugary. Oatmeal, I think, just, I guess, messes with the mouthfeel of the liquid.
Yeah.
But it's fight.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah.
What about
what's been up? It's been a couple of days.
I guess for me, I can start. One big thing for me, I was able to lose 20 pounds.
Let's fucking go.
So I started at 216, I believe, when I came back from the cruise. Because that's literally when I started my journey to like, I don't know, just started like curve my bad eating habits really something, because like I do have bad eating habits where like before, where if I didn't sleep that much, I would try to go downstairs to eat something, either like a sandwich or I don't know, just anything, cheese. So I was trying to curb that.
Yeah,
and also
picadera. That's what my family calls it. I do that shit all the time.
Yeah, or during the day where like, I freaking order legitimately, from Taco Bell or something like that, right? And then still eat the dinner with my parents and stuff like that. So it's like, it is kind of like those bad habits I'm trying to curb. And it is a little bit extreme. I know. We talked about it a bit before, you and me and Sour. But I don't know. I've been liking my routine where I've been eating a cereal, Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios, really good. Like, has your vitamins, has your fiber, and then to avoid the picadera, I eat one single protein bar, like around like 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and then I eat and I have like 700 calories left to like essentially eat my dinner with. So it's like that gives me a lot of room to like at least enjoy my last meal.
I feel like when you first start, like you fall into routine. I'm sure like you said, at first it might have been like a little intense, but now you're just kind of getting into like healthier habits and just being more conscious. Because I think that's something that I did like when I was trying to lose weight too. Like, you really do have to be conscious because, oh, let me just go get this snack. That's like 300 calories depending on like what snack it is, And if you do that every like couple of hours, you just ate your whole day's worth of calories and snacks. But that's good, man. That's awesome. I'm proud of you. I know it may not mean much, but I feel like, it's nice to hear it every once in a while. You're doing good, man. Keep that good shit up.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And one other thing, like I wouldn't say accomplishment for me, but like a very small thing was I finally installed the graphics card.
Nice.
Like I've been meaning to get for my computer because I've been using the integrated graphics card this entire time.
That's a big upgrade. Then I thought you had like a dedicated one. I don't know, you were literally using the fucking the Mobos one. That's wild.
Yeah, it was a Radeon graphics card. And it's just like somehow I was able to still play somehow Overwatch and Fall Guys.
It's gonna be a whole nother experience now.
Yeah, it was actually kind of fun. I was playing. The thing is, so I'm never a guy that could really like see the differences in graphics sometimes. Like, I know, do you remember those videos about the new games in like the new generation consoles, and where like they were comparing different consoles graphical prowess and stuff like that? My brother would constantly try to show me to like, oh dude, the PS5 or the PS4 is gonna be crazy, dude. It's so much better than the 360 or blah blah blah. And I'm like, they look exactly the same to me sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, it's only really like apparent when you go from like a 1080 resolution to like 4K or like PS1 graphics to like PS4. Like that's a huge jump, but in between each generation,
I think
if you're like if you're into tech, you could see it, but if not, like it's hard to see.
I wasn't. I think it looked good. I just keep forgetting how it looked before.
Yeah.
Like now that I put it, there's no way I'm gonna go back to it. Maybe one day I'll maybe do it just for comparison, but I will never remember it back. Now I'm just like, okay, this is how it's gonna be the new norm, and it did look good. Like I was playing Overwatch. I think that's just my benchmark. I will be able to play more games. I think. I just don't have. I was looking up the Arc game that you play. I was trying to say like, because like I know with the integrated graphics card I couldn't do it. Now I could do it, but still is not the recommended. But as long as
the thing with the Arc game that I play is that shit is horribly optimized, and there's a bunch of bugs. It really depends on the game.
Oh yeah,
the games that you play, and for the most part, you usually don't play too much like compute demanding games. So with what you got, you should be more than well enough with most of your games you want to play.
Do you think in your setup you'll be able to play stuff like a GTA? or a like
I think
don't know,
so. I think I'd be able to play
or
GTA
Destiny.
if I played like Starforge. Or I think is that the one that can't Starfield? What is it? The one like
No. Is it the
Bethesda
one?
game that was space. I think that one wouldn't run too well just because of how beefy it is.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is another one that's like I guess just the AAA games are the ones that usually can sometimes be rough. Cyberpunk has really bad optimization though, so I think that's just another a thing of its own. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So that it took me too long, I think, than what most people do. But I was really learning, like where to, take things off and stuff like that. I was like, so I was low-key learning a little bit more about my computer. Maybe someday
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, like playing with the parts. You kind of learn a lot. Like something that I recently learned is that. Do you know why there's like different USB 2.0, 3.0, like DisplayPort 1.2, 1.4, like HDMI 3.0, all those stuff? So supposedly, I might be explaining this completely wrong, but the better the version, so like DisplayPort 1.2 versus the DisplayPort 1.4, it just has a bigger transfer rate. So like with the USB port, like if you have an older USB, it might have slower like read write speeds, whereas like a 3.0 or like USB Type C, which is like the quickest, it'll be quicker. And that's something that I didn't know.
So then, if you have like an old device that you want to connect, do you still need to do the USB 2 or like the older USB port, or can you still
usually it's the port on like the input.
Okay.
Because like your mobile or like whatever port you have on your computers is what it will support. So if you have like a 2.0 USB port, most 3.0 like USB like it's a flash. Let's say it's a flash drive. It's a USB 3.0. It'll probably be backwards compatible. It just won't have the faster read speed of a 3.0.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, man, we're so in tech. And we still have so much to learn. It blows my mind.
No, it is interesting the whole computer building of it. Because it really is that kind of crazy how it's just plastic and then one rectangle that you connect everything to.
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially,
kind of crazy.
Like, yeah.
They all just the mobile is the brain. Makes sense why they call it that. Well, I guess the CPU technically too, but. It's crazy how everything just works. Like it just all comes together.
I was actually kind of scared that like I was gonna do cause I took off only the coolant, I think, the fan to my CPU. I was just so afraid that like I was going when I put everything back together, and like I was worried that like, I was going to like turn on and just everything crash or just burn or something like that.
Yeah,
I was just kind of worried, but like somehow it came out well ish.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now you'll enjoy the quicker exporting of your editing files. You could run your games a little bit better. It's a nice life. Quality of life upgrades.
Yeah, the thing that's funny, one last thing with this is like the way we're doing our videos now, actually I stopped needing the
freaking shortcut.
Because
GG's.
Because before it was because
waveforms.
The waveform, since the way we're doing it, it was you needed to like optimize gigabyte files, and my computer took so long to do that without like slowing down. So it was like because it was based on the graphics card, but now that we do this, it's actually not as bad. So it's like, I always needed to do it, and I feel good now having it done. And then, and then in the future, I might look into different upgrades, maybe like finally upgrade my motherboard, like doing that stuff. But yeah, so that's what happened with me. If you want to go into rating the beer, or you want to do your catch up?
We can rate it real quick, and then I can open with that.
All right, I'm ready.
So yeah, I could start with the Fremont Dark Starberry Imperial Oatmeal Stout. So that is, as the name implies, Imperial Strong Oatmeal. If you don't know what oatmeal is, I can't help you there. Stout dark beer.
That's good.
But on the website. It says the Dark Star was inspired by the wandering tribes scattered through the terrible journey of time and space, adrift the dark matter between the spaces of then and now. Wild. But it has some pale, 2-row pale, some roast barley, some chocolate malts, flaked oats, Magnum, and a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
And the color is deep black. The aroma is roasted coffee, toast, baking chocolate, dried fruits, and warming spices. And it is moderately sweet with the bitterness and slight acidity and umami in a thick body with a smooth coating of carbonation. Okay. I think that describes it pretty well. The only thing I will say further than that is I had to take a sip to remind myself. It does taste a little strong. Usually, like there's some beers that you have that are more higher percentage that don't have that like intense flavor of like a strong beer. We've drank enough strong beer at this point where it's not really off-putting. But if you don't like if you're not a beer drinker that drinks like double, triples, or like imperials much, you'll taste the strongness in this. But yeah. It's cool beer. It's Fremont Brewing. They were made in 2009. They were founded in the Great Recession, which is wild. But
in the Great Recession of like in the 1920s or
like
30s?
The 2000s recession.
Oh, that 2007. Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, but they've been around for a while. From their website, it looks like they're really involved in like sustainability. Seems like a really big thing of theirs, so that's pretty cool. And I feel like their website is like very like, I don't know, like they're on their about page. It's the why, the where, the who. You know, it sounds like very like forward thinking. I don't know, but yeah. On to the actual rating of this. So I think that stouts, something that I've started to learn with just the journey of stouts that we've had over this 38 episodes is that there's a lot of stouts that are just very sweet to cover like the darkness, and I'm not a fan of those. This one I would say has just the right amount of sweetness, but isn't like overkill. And the sweetness I think matches really well with the strength of the beer that I taste. So it's a very pleasant experience. I think this is one of the stronger stouts that I've had. But excuse me, it's always hard to judge what I want to rate this when I open up the beer ratings Excel and look at what we've rated everything. But I think I'm gonna have to give this a pretty solid 8 out of 10.
Okay, an 8.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
I'm not gonna let the other ratings influence me too much. That's kind of my gut feeling that I was thinking about it. And I'm gonna name it 8 dragons out of 10. Just because there's a dragon on the bottle.
8 dragons?
Cool. Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Okay, that's good. I'm looking. I feel like I didn't have that before. That one.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. I'm like, it's kind of interesting. Okay. I guess I'll go over mine. I did the Landshark Lager, Island Lager. Mm-hmm. It's actually made by the Margaritaville Brewing.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that one.
It's their flagship beer, apparently.
Nice.
And it's like, it was first introduced in 2006. So I think around the same time as yours, almost. It's a laid back. The flavor profile is very kind of like, it's slightly malt, and then it's not very hoppy. It's super crisp, but then like it goes into that weird realm of like a little bit alcohol-y. Like it kind of like it just doesn't taste right sometimes. And like I feel like that's like what people don't like about Corona sometimes. So like I think like it's what I'm feeling from this, right?
Yeah, I think when I've seen it, I've always seen it as like a alternative to a Corona.
Because
I feel like there's not really much beers. I guess maybe Modelo, but I think that's more just the fact that it's a Mexican beer as opposed to like the beach vibe, like because Corona's a beach beer, but it's like it's very unique in that sense. So I feel like that's probably the most like comparable in that sense.
Yeah, like I just drank a Corona right before this.
So you have like the ultra like
comparison
judgment. So it's good. It's good. You prepared well for it.
A little bit, because like it really was, because I don't know. It gets into that place where like it just you take a sip, it's crisp, but then like it has a weird alcohol finish to it. Like it's a little bitter maybe because of that, but it's not hoppy bitter. So like, I'd say like it's just enjoy cold. It's a good beer for the beach still.
Mm-hmm.
But I still prefer.
Do you
Corona
think that like? That. Do you think that if you the roles were switched and you were drinking Corona and you like Landstar, that like you would taste Corona's little things and think that, or do you think that it's like do you think that your experience with Corona changed how you viewed this beer more? So is, I guess what I'm trying to ask. From that whole life, or like just because you've drank a lot of Corona and you like Corona, so is it like, are you comparing it to Corona, or is it just more slow, like just what you're tasting like when you're drinking it?
I guess I get that the way it looked and the way like it advertised itself, it made me feel like, oh yeah, it's probably a similar Corona vibe in the beach side, like you said. I think that in terms of the taste, just like, I don't know, it just feels, it's just very much a typical lager though. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know that this was brewed by it was initially brewed by Anheuser-Busch in Jacksonville, Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen Landshark for a while. Like I remember
in Seattle.
Yeah, like I've seen it here. I've seen it. I know it's like a more of like a beachy one, but I didn't know that it was from Margaritaville. That one surprised me.
I know, it's like they do clubs, no, they do restaurants, they do bars. Mm-hmm. So one thing, what is Landstar Lager? Like I was kind of asking that myself. Apparently, it's just crafted to evoke the flavors, atmosphere, and experience of a tropical environment. And it's just, the characteristic is just light, refreshing, crisp finish, very mild in bitterness, a little sweet depending on the malt that they use.
Mm-hmm.
Moderate ABV. One actually interesting one is like these lagers tend to be higher carbonation levels, which enhances the refreshing quality, which makes sense, I think, because like it's like the fact that they're more carbonated. They're like, I don't know. Maybe reminds you of like drinking a Coca-Cola instead of a beer.
That's interesting though. Is that a good thing? I feel like when I think carbonation, I think like a seltzer, like a hard Mike's Hard, something like that. I don't think beer per se, but I know that some beers are more carbonated than others.
To be fair though, like would you say that those drinks are more refreshing than a normal, let's say, wheat beer or a stout beer or an IPA? Do you think like refreshing? Like that, like you're hot, you're drinking something cold.
I think it depends on the scenario.
Okay.
Like I don't think that in a super hot area, like if I'm on the beach, I feel like a cold beer would hit more than a seltzer or something. Okay. I don't know if it's because of the carbonation. I don't know if it's because of like, usually seltzers aren't too like flavorful or sugary. At least like, just like a standard seltzer. But yeah, I think I would say that the carbonation can get in the way. Like it's like when you're having something spicy and you have some carbonation,
okay,
it hurts, right? So it's like carbonation it has to be in the right time. Yeah, if that makes sense. But it doesn't sound like it's too carbonated because it's still a beer at the end of the day.
I want something to add, like with that analogy with like the seltzers. I did say that like like when you make in seltzer way, like when you leave it in the ice, I said cooler, right? And it's ice cold,
nice chilly. Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like in comparing to like an ice cold beer, I feel like the beer feels colder than the seltzer to me. I guess that's goes into refreshing, but like somehow to me it feels like it retains more cold, or like to me the beer more than
Do
like
you
a
think
seltzer.
that it like? Do you think it's because of like it being in a can versus a bottle, or do you think it's more of like just the beer versus?
I don't know, because I think my experience with seltzers, it just feels like the either carbonation or just the like the taste, the mouthfeel, all of that just doesn't reach an ice cold sensation for me. And versus a super cold Corona, you know, it's like I definitely feel more refreshed from a ice cold like beer than a ice cold White Claw. I just want to say that, I guess. But yeah, because that's what like I felt like, because like when I'm thinking like the first drink of after you set up your beach setup, you know, after you carry your whole setup in the hot, you haven't gotten to the water yet. You finally sit down. It's like, what do you drink? And I don't know, a Corona, bro.
It's the first drink. You got to set it up right.
Yeah,
I feel that. I can see that.
Yeah, and what you call? I love that I started this thing with like talking about Landshark and talking about Corona.
Yeah.
One last thing with it, beach setup. I might have a different one by the end of the episode, because like this might not be as cold as I wanted it to be. So maybe I'll refrain a little bit. But my tentative right now rating is probably a 6.
Nice.
It's like it's towards my style, but
better than average. Yeah.
Better than average. It just like it just falls apart with some of the aftertaste and different sips to it. Like it just feels more alcoholic than like just a nice beer. I'm gonna do 6. Beach balls.
Nice.
Out of 10.
Beach balls.
Dude, it's so hot here, bro. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. That's wild. I'm not ready for that next month. But with that kind of wraps up our little Beer of the Week segment.
Yeah.
And with that, we can talk about what I have been up to. Because like I mentioned, a lot of shit. So let me open this beer because it's going to be needed for it.
I know. I guess cheers, man.
I opened it and it's all over my pants.
Nice.
How rude.
That's how you
cheers. Do. I don't know why some cans, when you open them, they just like spaz out. But it is what it is. Cheers. First sip. Fresh beer. So yeah, last week, I think we recorded last Wednesday.
That's kind of crazy. The time.
Yeah, it's literally only been 4 days, and so much shit has happened during that. But I'll stop with the foreshadowing and get into it. So the next day after we recorded last week was my birthday. I turned 25.
25.
It's lit out here.
Quarter life.
25-year-old. Yep. And to add to the already impending quarter life crisis, I found out on last Thursday, my birthday, that I'm getting laid off. Oof. So that was fucking fun.
That was fucked up, bro.
Yeah,
dude. The thing is, it's your birthday, dude. It's like,
yeah, I kind of fucked my birthday over, low key. I tried my best not to let it bother me, but I found out pretty early in the day. Found out around like 10. That's kind of halfway through my workday already, so it's not too early in my workday. But
like 10 a.m.
Yeah, I found out.
Time?
Yeah, 10 a.m. my time.
So that's like what in. Like
1 p.m.
1
p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So towards the end of the workday, I start at 5 a.m. my time, so that's already 5 hours into my workday. But I found out, and it was rough. It was pretty rough, honestly. I saw that my director like scheduled a meeting with me, and I had like a weird feeling about it. I was like, this is weird.
You know when that meeting's about.
I meet with my director like somewhat, but it had been a while, so I was like, there's something off about this. And then I joined and he let me know, and I was like, okay, cool. So then I held my composure when he called me, but then I got off the call and I called Sour, like immediately. I got off the call and I called her and I started crying a little bit.
I feel that I did the same feelings
thing, man. And I called my mom, cried with her too. Then I told you. I was already good at that point. I wasn't crying anymore.
Dude, you texted me.
I had to, because It was weird timing because he was like he scheduled a meeting out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, sure. But then I was like, I had a vet appointment for Nairobi because she was feeling a little sick. So literally, like I was crying and having an existential crisis before this fucking vet appointment. It was so stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my birthday. After that, after he told me, I just kind of went over the documents and I just chilled. Like he was like, just take today and tomorrow. So I did that, and then we salvaged it somewhat by when Sour got home. She brought me a cake. She bought me a beer, Corona, tall can beer. Usually last year she got me a Corona and she made me chug it. And I tried to chug this one too, but I'm weak now, so it took a couple of chugs, but we did that. Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
She got me the really big bottles.
No, those.
She got me that last year, and then this year she got me a tall boy because she couldn't find the tall can or like the big bottle.
So what stout was this then? Was this stout?
What?
Was it a stout?
No, it was a Corona.
Oh yeah.
It's a Corona Extra.
Like, so is that gonna be the new norm?
Yeah, she started it last year, and I chugged it. So I think it's gonna be a yearly thing from now on. So
I'd rather say that it feels a little bit like punish. Not punishing, but it's like one of those. It's one of those traditions that like in high school you had the punches for your birthday. It feels kind of like that because it's a Corona.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage type thing.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a Corona because I feel like it'd be different. I don't know. I feel like Corona is a punishment now.
Nah, I don't see it as a punishment. I like it. Well, okay. So I was when she got home, I was like, I was going through what had fucking happened. Yeah. So she was trying to cheer me up and shit. And she was like, you don't have to chug it if you don't want to. You don't even have to have it. And I was like, you think I'm a bitch? No,
that's
yeah, I did it. And then after that, we watched some movies. We watched Daddy's Home 1 and 2. Have you watched Daddy's Home?
It's just Daddy's Home.
It's I don't know what to describe it as. It's
Is that Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Yep.
Dude, I know. Okay, I know. I'm aware of the movies. Is it really named Daddy's Home?
Yep. Daddy's Home 1 and 2. We watched them both, and they were pretty funny.
Yeah, because it's the funny part is like the second one, like their fathers come in for some reason, right? And
they're exactly the same people.
Yeah, it's just so funny. Will Ferrell's father is Barney Stinson's father in How I Met Your Mother, and it's just the funniest thing to me because I don't know. I love the actor, but okay, I feel you. Funny. And then what else you did in the?
We watched some movies. Sour bought me some sushi. We were gonna get dinner, but honestly, with all that happened that day, like I kind of didn't want to go out. I just wanted to stay in. So we got some takeout sushi. Musashi's, the goat. This time it was a lot better. I don't know what happened the time that you came, but it was good. And we just watched movies. We just binged movies. We watched Daddy's on 1 and 2, and we also watched the first Anchorman.
Oh man, I wish I was
good.
There watching Anchorman.
Yeah, we just had an old movie like marathon.
Will Ferrell
and then
marathon.
Yep. And then Friday I took off the day to kind of decompress.
Yeah.
Process everything that's happening. My manager said that everything's okay. She understands. And I slept in a little bit. I woke up at 8, and it was hard. It was a little hard to like decompress and like try to chill, knowing that I'm not gonna have a job in a month. But I did it to the best of my abilities. Yeah. And then I also did some cleaning because I could not just not do anything.
Yeah.
But then later that day we went to an escape room and we got some dinner with the Seattle gang. So very thankful for them. They were able to help me get out of my head for a little bit. It was a really nice time. We did an escape room, like I mentioned. It was a jailbreak theme one, so that was really cool. We actually started the escape room in 4 different cells, so we were all separate. It was really dope.
Oh, that's actually dope. That's like,
yeah, dude. It was like
that's crazy.
This is the same place that I did the morgue one that I think I had mentioned before, where it was 3 rooms. This one was, I think, kind of 3 rooms. It was the main room where you I almost said you spawned in, where you started in.
You
And
already
there was
think of game terminology because, dude, doing that,
Big
dude,
bot.
that reminds me of like all the Dead by Daylight Texas Chainsaw. Like we start separate, and you have to come together to like eventually, right? That is so cool. I never thought about. I never seen escape room doing that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, these escape rooms have been pretty good, but
That's great.
Yeah, it was like a multi-parted one. We were in the cells, and then we got out of the cells, and then we were trying to figure out how to get to like the secret passage, and we got to the secret passage, which brought us into a hallway. There was another puzzle over there that we had to do, and we got into the last room, and we did not escape. There was like 5 minutes left, and we were on the last part, and we knew how to get it, but we just didn't have enough time where we just kind of started to freak out. And we were basically like, probably like, if we had another extra 5 minutes, we probably would have figured it out. But it was still a really fun time. We still had a good time.
Do you think do you think that the additional parts of being separated, like, do you think that's where it took the most time, or
yeah, we kind of took way too much time in the first room.
When you guys were separated, right?
Yeah, like it wasn't even that hard to get out. We just like, I don't know, we were just kind of like getting in the being analytical mood, I guess. But once we got out, like it was pretty quick, and we just didn't have enough time from the first room. But
yeah, it's probably
still fun.
It's probably tough to do that like in the initial, because like you usually like, not saying you rely on others, but like there's a power of like having everyone together where everyone can pitch in on like where they're strongest at, right, in solving it, what they know. So it's like that makes sense that like when you're separate in the beginning, when you're not like in the mode, it probably takes a bit too.
I mean, we were still like in the same like cell, like it was like a cell block, so it was like 4 cells in the same like area, and that's like the cell block.
Oh,
so we were
all
still
talking
with
to
each other. Yeah, we were still with each other, but it was just like we were locked.
Ah, that's so cool.
But pretty fun. It was a little jump scary. I don't know why the fuck it scared me so much, but there was this one part. I'll tell the highlight of the escape room for me. There was this one part where we opened up like a little the confiscations, or like like where the warden would put the stuff that's confiscated. And we got 2 tools. One tool that opened up the secret passageway, and one tool that was a fuse. And one of the puzzles there was 2 fuses. And I screwed in the fuse, and there was one more fuse missing, and I had this tool in my hand that we used to get the keys off the hook, and it looked like the same size of the fuse. I was like, what if I just put this here? Yeah. And I put a metal tool into like the fuse box thing, and it was a part of the puzzle. Like there was another fuse box that we found eventually, but I kind of brute forced it. But when you put the fuse in, it does like a noise, like if like the fuse exploded. So me sticking a metal piece into the fucking fuse box, I somehow like, I guess since it was like around the same shape, it just thought that it was the fuse. So it started making the sparking noise and open, and it scared the living shit out of me.
That you thought you were
yeah, dude. I mean, I was sticking a metal piece into like a fuse box thing, so I was like, this looks stupid, but I'm like, I can't be live. And then it started doing the sparking noises, and it scared the shit out of me.
Like, there's no way I'm gonna get electrocuted in an escape room, right?
Yeah, dude. There was a lot of jump scares, and then in the last room, like the what's it called, like the game host or whatever, the person who has like does stuff while you figure out the clues, and they like open up the parts or something. Yeah. He knocked on the door, or like knocked on the wall when he was next to us, and it scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's always a scary sensation when you're like you're just in a closed off area.
Yeah, we just got so immersed, and like he knocked and it scared the shit out of me.
That's good.
That was good. And then after that, we went to Pelicana. We got some chicken, and then we walked around, hit some bars up, had a good time. Yeah, it was really nice.
How did it feel?
Help me
telling them like when.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
So
to do that?
I didn't want to tell them in the first part. I wanted to tell them over dinner. Yeah. So I was like, hopefully the escape room, like we're doing stuff, so like it doesn't come up. Like, well, how's work, or how's everything? Like, how was your birthday type shit? So nothing came up at the escape room. But then when we were at Pelicana waiting to be seated, we were just chilling, and then Soju was like, everyone was talking, and Soju was like, "Oh, how was your birthday yesterday?" And then I looked at Sour, and I was like, "Oh, like I guess I'm gonna say it now," because like I wanted, I didn't really know how to say it, but like the first chance that came up, I was gonna say it.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, it was okay." I found out I'm getting laid off, and she was like, "What?" And then she like got old fashioned and IPA's attention, and she was like, "Did you hear what he said?" And I was like, "Yeah, I found that I got laid off yesterday." And they're like, "What?"
It's crazy.
So yeah, that happened. They were very supportive.
Of course they are.
You know, obviously said, "I'm so sorry that's happened to you. That if there's anything we could do to help," type stuff. And I'm very thankful that they were able to help me kind of forget my worries for the night. It was a really fun time. We just talked and chilled.
I feel that, man. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to everyone. The tech field right now is really rough.
Yeah.
And
what do you think that is? Right now,
I think honestly, I think because of greed. Because I don't think that my position is being eliminated because, when I got laid off, when I was in the meeting, I was talking to my director and I was like, "Oh, is this performance based? Like, is there anything I could have done better?" And he was like, "Oh, it's not performance based. It's just org's restructuring." Which for me, that translates to corporate greed, chasing more profits, cutting money where they can, not necessarily because they have to, but just because they can. I might be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it was performance based and he just didn't want to tell me, but I just feel like I'm the only onshore rep that is doing my job. So, the other, like, there's no one else that could be doing my job at the moment on my team. Yeah. So either they're going to have to hire someone else or they're going to have to make someone who's working pick up what I'm doing. So it doesn't really make sense to me, but it is what it is. I mean, one door closes and another door opens somewhere, hopefully. So no, yeah. Yeah. I mean, just got to take it and keep going. Yeah. But that was my Friday. It was pretty chill. Saturday, it was a pretty busy weekend, low key. So Saturday, we woke up and we went to a wine release party. Because we're a member at one of the wineries in Woodinville. Really? So we went to a wine release for the May release that we had. And it was like beach like attire type thing. So I wore some like short shorts and a button up.
Well, you have to say short shorts.
Because it was like, I can't say shorts. Like it was like, like the shorts that are like higher up on your thigh.
But like how high? Cause like
they weren't like booty shorts, but they were like the fuckboy shirts, that they have
the fuckboy shorts, yeah. Yeah. I just don't think you can say short shorts.
Yeah. I just don't know how else to describe them, but I wore that and sunglasses because they said, wear sunglasses and sandals, but I don't really have sandals. I only have slides, so I just wore my Sperry's, some shorts, and
how hot is it in Seattle for this?
Not hot at all. It is currently 58, so it was nice weather.
So they told you to like go hot summer like attire. Really?
Yep.
50 degrees.
June and it's still freaking rainy and cold. But
oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, we went to the wine club. It was like an open house style, so they had tastings of all of the wines that we would be having. So we had a tasting of them, and then we picked up our wine and we went to the Mexican place because we were in Woodinville. So why not?
Why not?
It was pretty chill.
What do you?
And then we actually no, I didn't tell them, but we chilled. We had some good food. We had some good drinks, and we did the highlight of Saturday, Sunday, I guess, because Friday was pretty lit. We watched the Haikyuu movie.
You did? Okay. Yep. I'm ready to talk about it.
Oh, it was so good.
You liked it? Oh my! I still haven't watched it, but I know what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. So I didn't read it, so I don't know like the pacing of it. But it just felt like, I don't know. It felt like Karatsuno was like dominating the whole time, and Nekoma was just in the back foot the whole time, and it just felt weird. Like I know, plot armor. I know what will happen in the end, most likely. But it just felt like interesting. But it was really good. It was really hype. It had me getting like internally hyped for soccer the next day, which is what we did.
Oh, you guys play. Okay, you guys had a game. No, dude, yeah, Haikyuu, dude. Haikyuu is legitimately for me a top 5 anime / manga.
I think so too, dude.
Like I feel like
I was talking to Sour about it, and I was like, she was getting hyped, and I was like, dude, I don't remember you liking this so much. She's like, yeah, this is like probably one of my favorite animes. I was like, wow, like, yeah, obviously One Piece to go, but like probably this is like top 3.
Yeah, for like
maybe top 5.
Top 5 is like it's like a number for me because like it just I've reread it so many times now. Like, or is the ending of it. I'm not gonna say anything about the ending, but like, it's one of the stories that ended in a way that I didn't expect it to end it. But I was so happy how it ended. It's just so, I don't know, it's so feel good, and so hype without needing
So
to
they
be.
did a good job then.
It's hype, but in a not like unbelievable way of being hype. Because for a sports story, like one sports anime that I'll reference here. Do you ever watch Kuroko no Basket?
No.
So is this basketball anime / manga that it's like Haikyuu, where it has a smaller player and a big player who have to team up to reach the heights that they need to reach, right? To win the inter height, right? But Kuroko no Basket, the way they do their hype is they do almost shonen power ups in the game or in the basketball games, right?
Damn.
Like they make it almost unrealistic, right? They're like, oh, I'm gonna unlock the zone, and that's gonna give me god powers to be able to do shit, or I have a technique where I can do this and shit like that. And it is very much a shonen sports manga where they lean more towards the shonen. Haikyuu is a shonen sports manga, but like it is so realistic. It's so like there where like it just feels good to see the work that they put in, the realistic skills that they earn, and their drive to reach what they reach, right? And I just love that shit. It's just like, and I think it would have not been top 5. It wasn't for the ending for me. Yeah, I'll just say that.
Damn.
For the dumps.
All right, well, I got something to look forward to then.
I know, dude. They're gonna do, I think, another movie.
Yeah, but I think the movie's gonna come out like probably mid 2025.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a little minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna probably rewatch it with Sour because it was that good. I really liked it. It was a good time.
Bro. The thing is that the thing that's funny for me, like, so I didn't read it until after the 3rd season. So like when the fight with the Chihiro Torisawa, right? Because to me it's like, oh, that's the end, right? The 3rd season is the end.
It felt like it.
That's what it felt like it. And so to me, after that, and then I realized that, oh wait, do they still have to go to Japan, to Tokyo to do their inter-high, to do their tournament thing? It's like, I'm not gonna like that probably because it just feels epilogue, right?
Yeah.
So they go to so they go to an inter-high, but it's like, oh wait, right, they have to still fight Nekoma, I guess. Like, I guess that's in narrative speaking, it's like they're technically the first rival besides Aoba Josai, which is the senpai of Kageyama, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like,
that show was, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fire. I'm trying to think. He kind of reminds me of did you watch Hunter x Hunter? The clown. I forgot his name. I was trying to remember his name, but I didn't remember it. He has like that vibe to him. I don't know why. His senpai.
I want to say that they're the same voice actor.
Maybe it was that, but yeah.
I think that's the same voice actor.
Hisoka. There we go. That's what his name is.
No. I'm pretty sure Hisoka. No, it's not actually him, right? No.
He just gives me that vibe. I don't know why. I don't even think it's like the voice actor, but he's just, I don't know.
I think that's him. I want to say that's him. Only because it very much feels a very similar vibe. And I agree with you that it's very similar vibe. But okay. No, I'm looking for that movie, man. But
yeah, man. It was good. Definitely recommend it. Sarah and I are probably gonna watch it again just because we liked it that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we did Saturday, and then Sunday we played some soccer. It was rainy and cold in the Pacific Northwest as it usually is. But we didn't stop that, and we got shit on. We lost 3-0 in the first game.
Damn.
And I think we lost like 2-1 the second game, or 3-1 the first game and 2-1, something like that.
I hope
we
it's
lost
2-1
4
more.
games essentially.
I hope it's 2-1 instead of 3-1.
But yeah. We still had fun. It was a fun weekend, and then after that, we came home and watched Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore's still on that stuff?
Yeah, we finished the original show, but we're watching like the family reunion or whatever.
Ew. Okay.
It's so dramatic. I love it.
It's still dramatic after like they're like what 30, 40 years old.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's wild.
Like I can't imagine being crazy when you're like at your 40s and with children. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's like a wishful thinking that like you just get saner. You know, you don't get like when you get kids, you get married, all that stuff. It's just like, but no, I guess not. And yeah,
I don't know.
how are you feeling now? For the viewers, I guess.
The
After
viewers,
or after this whole weekend.
oh yeah, I'm still feeling a lot of shit. Honestly, I go from feeling anger to sadness to guilt.
Yeah.
Like it's hard not to feel like it's my fault.
No, it's not your fault.
My director was telling me like it's not performance based. Like if like because like he said that I could apply within the company as well. So I was like, oh, like I want to give like your honest feedback, because if I do apply within the company, they're probably going to reach out to you. And he was like, I have nothing but good things to say. It's just it's unfortunately it is what it is. So it's hard to not feel like it's my fault. And when shit like this happens, like you think about all the shit that you could have done differently.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's ultimately it's going to be for the best. And I kind of feel like it's just showing like low key my company's true colors, because like I said, I don't think it's like the company's doing bad, because when I've gone to all the business meetings where they talk about like earnings and stuff, we've been doing better than we did last year. So I think it's just
this really came out of nowhere,
cutting costs where they can cut costs. Yeah, like I was completely blindsided. I honestly, like I said, when I saw the meeting, I was like something's weird here, but it wasn't because like the company's doing bad and I knew they were doing layoffs. It caught me completely off guard.
Right, because like I know when it happened to me, like there was some talks, and I kept asking my manager about it, like yeah, so what's going on with the layoffs, right? Are they going to be hitting us up, right? And like I was asking that to my manager, and like no, I don't think that will happen. Like it's mainly the contractors first. And okay. So that gave me a sense of fucking security, and then I think 2 months later or 3 months later, it's like, all right. And just I don't know. I think everyone will say whatever in front of different people, right? To appease whatever. So it's like it is what it is. And the thing is, you're right. Companies are greedy. I think because the company that I said works with my brother, they're very much like they're literally building centers, stuff like company HQ essentially in India and China or something. Then like to host on-site jobs essentially for out of country thing. And it's just like it's kind of crazy because I think the landscape just really changed a lot ever since the pandemic happened. If I can be honest with you, it's just companies realizing, oh, we can spend way less by just using like offshore people and not, it'd still be the same or what? Like I feel like that's what the drive of it was, because a lot of companies do that.
Unfortunately, and then I think it's that there's that option, and there's just also the market is super saturated right now for computer science. Yeah. So like realistically, they could fire a bunch of junior people and hire a bunch of junior people like at a lower like salary or whatever it may be, just because of how saturated the market is at the moment.
Yeah. The one thing that sucks, it
is what it is. You take life as it comes, and you just keep moving forward.
Yeah. The one thing that sucks is like
what you can do
when you get when this happens, when you're like only like 1 year or 2 years in, or like 3 years in, where you really haven't built up this. I don't know. You're in a weird limbo place where you're not as you're better than a newbie, but you're not as good as like
You're not, yeah, you're not an
senior.
entry level, but you're also not senior, like you said. Like you're
Yeah.
stuck in limbo where like, what are you?
Why are
And
you?
it's like you haven't developed enough to like have found your professional identity yet. At least that's how
Yeah.
I feel. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that I feel like will kind of help me build my professional identity and build my character as like a professional. So
yeah.
we'll see. Maybe in 3 months we'll do a catch up, or I guess a sync up on this and see where I'm at.
Yeah.
Then hopefully in a better place. But
I feel you.
yeah, that's been the past 4 days. Fucking hectic as hell.
I know. Yeah.
Feels like my mind's working overtime and I can't chill. But hey,
Yeah.
it's life.
It's life, man. I think I said to you, like, just like it's just tough because it really just goes back and forth of like trying to not let it get to you, but then like you start thinking about everything you need to do to like if you don't do, if you don't get a new job, so that shit is always a mental thing, and if that's tough, it's like sometimes you don't get to be able to do all that stuff once your severance, fizzles out or something like that. Like it's just like I don't know. It's always a scary thing, and we just gotta realize that like you have your support system. You'll be surprised how quickly recruiters jump in if you like once you like announce in LinkedIn and stuff like that. I think you'll have your offers. You'll have your people reaching out just and stuff like that. Yeah. I've drank two beers through this recording.
Well, my beers are 8%, so technically we're about the same.
Yeah, you're right. I am only drinking 4.5. All right, with that, it's kind of crazy that we're both in a similar situation with that, with layoffs, and you know how it is with like in the tech industry right now.
Yeah, the economy is dookie right now, bro.
It's dookie because greed, like you said.
Yep.
Like companies just kind of try to cut corners where they can. But to go in the lighter note ish, we can maybe talk about stuff that doesn't involve us sometime.
Heck yeah.
Somewhat. We're gonna do an AMI the asshole story about some people with their shit. It's am I the asshole for not telling someone about a job after we're both laid off? It's kind of related to us, but in some ways. But it's just we'll see. All right, the company I worked for had a pretty big layoff recently. They cut almost 25%. It was rough. I know things have been pretty hard for many companies, but you never think it will happen to you. At least I didn't. And the company did a great job for not setting off alarm bells until the day off. Which I say, like, that's bullshit. I hate when that happens. It's like, I'd rather the alarm bells go off rather than be, in shock. Anyway, I was in shock for a few days after they let me go. Then I went hard into job search mode. I got lucky almost right away. I had made some good friends at the company that laid me off, and they put me in touch with a new company that was hiring. I met with them, and they hired me right away. It happened so fast that I had a new job before my unemployment even kicked in. That's crazy. Okay.
That's goals right there.
I know, that's kind of goals. That's like what you need. We need to happen. Throughout all this, I had a former coworker. I'll call her Lauren, who had been let go, same as me. Lauren is a kind of the clingy and needy type. After we were let go, Lauren called me every day to complain. She'd go on about how stressed she was and how hard it was to be looking for a job in this economy, and would go on ranting about the company that would let us go. She even wrote them letters to complain about the layoffs and investigated ways she could sue. Honestly, I don't know what she was actually doing to look for a job. She was calling me so much. Here's where I wonder if I'm the asshole. I didn't tell Lauren about the job opening I applied for, and then got. Even though the whole time she was telling me how rough it was to be job hunting and how there was no jobs anywhere in our town, and I had this great lead. I just agreed with her and kept the job lead to myself. Lauren and I talked every day because she would call me, but I never told her I was interviewing. She found out about my job later because someone said something to me in front of her, and she looked at me with such surprise, shocked. Lauren confronted me later, crying, saying I didn't tell her about the job because I was afraid of the competition if she applied for it too. She said I was a bitch for listening to her complain for weeks about how hard job hunting was.
I'm sorry, that sounds so funny. That you're bitching about losing your job to someone who also lost their job, and you're gonna call them a bitch.
Yeah,
for fucking complaining. That's funny, bro. I'm sorry, it just found me.
I know I think that's fine. Agreeing with her the whole time. When all the time I knew about this great job and never told her. I told Lauren it wasn't up to me to find jobs for her. And she said she had more work experience than me. True. And the only reason I beat her to the job was because I'm a disloyal sneak. I told her to get lost and blocked her on everything. My day asked for not telling her about the job so we could both apply for it fair and square. Damn, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like there has to be some... I don't know. I guess I'm wondering rather not. I feel like I'm wondering if there's some more like depth to this relationship. Because I don't know if I would call a coworker clingy and needy. Like if I just had a work relationship with them, you know?
Right, yeah.
So maybe there's a little bit of depth
I would not
in
do
that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they did anything wrong. Like, you know, you kind of have to look out for yourself. And it wasn't like he was just kind of offering her a shoulder to cry on per se. But like seeing how she reacted, I feel like, you know, maybe it was better that he didn't, because she kind of was being rude.
It is a lot of emotions flying high, right?
Yeah.
With that kind of stuff, and it's just very quick. Because I remember this kind of feeling when... Do you remember when we were in Shep, right? In college, whenever we heard people getting offers and stuff like that, it just feels... There's a sense of... That's like jealousy, but like there's a sense of like, oh man, I wish that happened to me, right?
Yeah.
So
to some extent,
I can understand the negative feeling that she was feeling, but it really is not her, like their coworker's job to kind of like look out for her, unless the relationship is not being told how it is. Like maybe they before this they're doing dinners every week or something like that, or like you know. Stuff like that. Or like they're having lunch every other day. You know, how close they were. Because I'll be honest, when I got laid off, I would not call any other coworkers. Maybe I'll send a message like, hey, I got laid off. It sucks, but yeah. I would never call them though. That's reserved for like my close people in my circle, like my family, a partner, right? Or like, you know, maybe a pretty close friend, right? Because when it happened to me, right, I told you, like maybe 1 day, 2 days after, I think, maybe. I'm trying to remember when I told you, right? And it definitely feels like a differing relationship for that.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough because especially when I'm guessing they're definitely both in the same area. It's kind of tough to handle that, you know, whether you want to compete or not with them. Because competing is always something that can lead to toxic stuff, right? Because it's like, I don't know. Like, if I see something that can apply to you, I would send it to you. I try to, but like,
I mean, I would too, of course. Like, I think that it depends on the relationship too.
I think it does.
I think we're close enough to like, you know, if you got amazing job opportunity that I applied to, I wouldn't be like, oh, like fuck you, you didn't deserve that. Like I'd be like, I'm so happy for you, and I'd hope you'd do the same for me. But like, I guess that's maybe where the dynamic of that relationship, maybe they weren't close. I don't know. It sounds like there was something there because she was calling him to complain, so it was a little bit deeper than like, you know, just coworkers. But Yeah, I mean it's hard. It's honestly a hard market right now, and it's a hard thing to go
Yeah.
through. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that he did anything wrong. All in all,
No. No. I mean, especially with this job specifically.
yeah.
Maybe he could say about the other jobs that they got or like they saw. Maybe sent his coworker that stuff maybe instead,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just I do okay. I hope that person is a she though, because the line of she said, oh no wait, no I think this person is a her.
Mm-hmm.
Because her coworker said she said I was a bitch. I would be fair. You call me bitch sometimes, right?
Yeah, but like I don't know. That one felt like different.
No. Of course, I don't feel that way. Just like
I hope you
when it's
don't.
a
Let me know if you
girl
do.
calling someone
No,
another
I think
girl
it was just like
bitch.
it was just a funny like I don't know.
Just that was a
It was funny.
bitch. Well, listen. No, I mean I don't know. Maybe if they felt very guilty about it, maybe they could have like, what about this other stuff I've been looking at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just not saying
Yeah,
anything.
I think why that found me so much was just because it was like when I use bitch, it's like you're a bitch, or like it's like I don't know,
You're my
like it just
bitch.
feels like that's so like weird, like oh like I'm mad at you and I'll be like oh you're a bitch for doing this, like I feel like that doesn't fit with me, like I don't know,
I know.
maybe that's just my way of like insulting someone. I don't know, I don't feel like I
No,
actually genuinely like had to try to insult someone. If that makes
no, yeah,
sense.
I think
Like
so.
I'm always
Yeah, like
poking fun at people, but I'm never serious. So
I
maybe I don't
think
know.
I think when you want to, like when you really don't like the person, you just don't communicate with them anymore, or like you try not
Yeah.
to. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I think that's the difference with you, and I think that's me too. It just there are times where like you gotta know how comfortable people are, and then I know you know when you want to be that there, and this is just not the asshole. It's just I don't know. It's a tough situation where the coworkers in the same situation as you, and then you get a new job, and then they're still like trying to look for. That's
Mhm.
always a difficult.
Yeah,
But
but I feel like I don't know. Even if like if I feel like if I were in her situation, I'd be like, okay, like can you refer me? Like what? Like I wouldn't jump to be like, oh, you're a bitch. Like I don't like you. Like I'd be like,
yeah,
okay, like
congratulations. Can
yeah,
you give me
can you
some?
help me like in any way? Like not like that I
Yeah,
expect it, but like that's the angle that I would go towards it. Like I wouldn't immediately
right.
be like angry at him and like try to call him names and shit. I would just be like, how can like like I don't know.
You're a bitch.
Yeah, you're a bitch for
You're a
listening, bro.
bitch.
Oh man,
I
that
don't know.
found
We
me.
had
I
to
don't
see
know.
it. I feel that. I think that's the tough part. But yeah, like it's just a very natural, I think, situation, especially when this market it is what it is. But okay. With that though, this comes to the end of our episode. I think it's like very I say kind of interesting episode that we had, right?
Yes, sir.
We had we talked about some deep stuff, talked about our random beers that we did. I mean, is it random or not? I don't know.
It all fit together in some way, or you know,
In way or
it all
form,
fit together. Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
And no, yeah, we decided to like go for something that's very didn't require too much thinking about on our part. I feel like because it was just like stout and lagers that we've been wanting to try essentially. And I think that fits with the. You know what? We wanted to unwind with this episode. Kind of like go deep, talk about anything that we want to. Just let it all flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to us. Kind of letting things, go as they would. Let us know if you ever had any like employment problems or any other beers that like you really like that usually that you don't really get to talk about, I guess. And
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Always a good time catching up. Cheers to the viewers.
Cheers. Sour Lager signing off.
Here.